Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of First and Last. My name is Josh, and with me this week I have Joe.
Hey man.
And Jimmy.
Sup, dogs?
Nothing much. My pasta pal.
Doggins.
My spaghetti Jim.
Oh, man.
We're doing shows. We're watching TV, like always. Isn't it exciting?
Like, literally always.
Always.
I'm excited.
Excellent. Joe, what is First and Last for anybody that wants to know?
We take a TV show and watch only the first and the last episodes. The best episodes.
Well, yeah, it's mostly because all other episodes in TV are shit.
Just garbage.
Then we talk about it and record it and distill it into an hour plus for you to listen to while you're at work. Or while you're
at
the gym.
1.5 speed.
Play around. I don't listen to. A lot of people say they listen to podcasts at 1.5 speed. No. I do not. No. I am not a smart enough human to do that.
Maybe like a 1.25.
Is that a setting
on Spotify?
If there was like a 0.7 setting, I'd probably use that just because I don't soak in enough.
Hey everybody, we're gonna
snuffleupagus.
Well, today we're gonna do the show Weeds.
Little boxes.
The Gilmore Girl
on a hillside.
The boxes. Gilmore Girl.
No, I think you're wrong, Jimmy.
Isn't she a Gilmore Girl?
No.
I don't believe
Mary
you're right.
Louise Parker?
No.
Isn't she the mom?
No.
You don't know.
No, Joe. No.
You don't know.
The mom's name is something that, like, if you said it, I'd be like, Mom. That's it.
She just seems like she'd be a Gilmore Girl.
She's like a Gilmore like aunt or something.
She could be Gilmore Jace.
She is in the West Wing. I know that.
Mary Louise Parker.
Yeah.
What's the name of Elaine from Seinfeld?
Oh God.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah.
I knew it was 3 names.
Yeah, 3 names. Well, so we're gonna watch Weeds today. Weeds went for 8 seasons. 102 episodes.
Yeah.
420 episodes.
I mean, they really missed an opportunity. It's very.
Oh, Lauren Graham. It's
very interesting.
Lauren Graham. That's
confusing.
And so yeah, it did that. It's a show. It's called Weeds. Spoiler alert. It's kind of about drugs. Joe, I know you don't like drugs.
Or
You're scared of drugs.
I also don't like weeds. You gotta get some Roundup.
The parents' guide on IMDb says alcohol, drug, smoking, severe. Sex and nudity, severe. How do you have severe sex? That sounds awful.
So I've seen Jesus. So I've seen.
You've seen Jesus?
Let's
talk about that. Pause this podcast.
Nope, I'm keeping it to myself.
Okay.
I've seen some of this show. I don't even know if I've seen the pilot. I don't know what episodes of the show I've seen. It hasn't been enough to really know anything besides I know that this is called Weeds because it's about drugs.
There's a suburban lady selling drugs.
Yep.
I've the same where I've
Nice.
seen like a handful of episodes like consecutively when like a friend was trying to get me to watch it.
Yeah. And then I know Kevin Nealon is in this show.
Oh,
and he's like the comedy relief.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's just like a neighborhood dad. That's maybe like a friend of her friend, like a husband of her friend or something like that.
So is it kind of just like a low stakes Breaking Bad? Like
I think
it's a
it's
normal person selling drugs.
I think it's the lowest stakes. I don't think. I don't
know. I feel like she gets into some stuff.
I'd be surprised if she ever kills a person.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, do you think that there's like?
I bet she.
Do you think there's a reason she gets into selling the weeds? Is it because she's like sick or something?
Single mom.
She just needs cash.
I think it's the same reason. I think it's before her family.
What are you gonna say?
She's got lung cancer, and
I thought you were gonna say like I think it's the same reason all single moms sell drugs.
Yeah, cash.
Sweet relief.
It's just a multi-level marketing scheme.
I assume. I think
a pyramid.
I assume. Yeah, single mom, and she just needs money.
Mm-hmm.
Drugs.
Maybe
is
she
the
gets
original.
Maybe she gets laid off from her job.
Pyramid scheme.
Okay.
And she's like, oh, I couldn't just apply for a new one. I should just buy a ton of weed.
And sell it.
And I bet she picks weed, and maybe they cover this. I bet she picks weed because it's the least risky of all the drugs.
Do you think it's blue weed?
Just spray painted blue.
Oh.
She sells some Heisen blunts. Huh?
I get it.
Thank you.
No weeds, no stems.
Don't do it.
I don't know that much about weed, but I was listening to Dr. Dre's 2001 The Chronic And in like several songs, they make reference to like, yeah, I got the best sticky, no weeds, no stems, like specifically like, or no seeds, no stems. There's like specific parts of the plant that they don't want, and they keep talking about how like their weed doesn't have any of that.
Well, yeah, that don't I don't know anything about. It's like when you like
all just leaves.
It's like when you go to like do a new thing with a bunch of people that like know everything about it, and they're like, "Yo, man, don't get the tricky in the gnar."
And like never, I would never do that.
Are you saying like late '90s snowboard tricks?
Yeah,
Cowabunga.
1080 baby.
Make sure you get that misty,
blitz.
That ollie.
You gotta blitz the blong if you want to get high in the schlong.
This is kind of she want. Did you say high in the schlong?
I was trying.
It means something different in snowboarding.
Yeah, you don't understand. You wouldn't understand, Jimmy.
Yiddish.
You're not a snowboarder. So what did she do
I was just gonna say that she won a Golden Globe
for this show?
in 2006, which would have been after the first season, I guess.
Was it a comedy?
It says best for comedy or musical was the.
So it's musical.
So for sure, lots of singing.
Yeah.
It also won some Emmys, but like for cinematography and sound mixing. So
okay.
How many like potential? What year did this show come out?
05.
05? And which year did Breaking Bad come out? Joe?
08 or 9?
Okay. So, how many things do you think Breaking Bad borrowed from this show?
08.
Like, does she have a cop friend that she has to hide it from?
Oh, that's someone that's real close to her that's trying to figure it out.
Maybe it's
I wouldn't be
Kevin
surprised.
Nealon.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of things in this first episode. It's like, hey, they did that in Breaking Bad too.
Yeah, right. A little bit, just kind of and they
Did you
probably
say
did
what
them an
channel
amazingly
this is on?
different way.
Yeah.
But regular cable. I don't know.
Yeah, one of the
Not
cables.
on a. Okay. I always, for some reason, I had in my brain that this was
Showtime.
It was Showtime.
Yep.
It's showtime.
Okay.
So I think single mom, she needs the money for a family. I don't think there's anybody that has like cancer or some sort of debilitating actual disease.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have a scene where she goes to like get a bunch of drugs or something maybe in this first episode, and it's like probably a mildly racist and weird, where it's like some big black dude that she's afraid of because she's a tiny white girl and she doesn't understand. And then I think Kevin Nealon makes jokes. That's it.
Cool.
I don't know. What do you guys think happens in this episode?
I think she's smoking pot already.
Well, I mean, you know. Right.
I mean, but I think like I don't think it's like, oh, circumstances. I think it's just like, oh yeah, I guess like I could like sell it too.
Oh, so you think she literally just kind of falls into it? And like, oh,
yes,
sure.
Yes.
Her dealer just drops off a pound one day, and she's like, well, wait, I don't need
what
this.
What am I going to do with this?
He's like, sell it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe
real low stakes.
Yeah. I mean, it could be
that
maybe
casual job.
Maybe it's more like she's like blackmailed into it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
This show is considered like a black comedy kind of satire.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So it's obviously, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be stakes at some point, but we're not going to get into any sort of Breaking Bad scenarios, I don't think.
I've seen like bits of this just when it just be on, and I didn't know what I was seeing, but I'm pretty sure, unless this is from like an SNL skit or some other random Kevin Nealon thing, that he's into like autoerotica or like asphyxiation, and that's what I remember about his character in this.
Okay.
I'm gonna predict that
Weird chokey
they
stuff.
don't say the word weed or weeds in this episode at all.
What do you think? They say like Kush and stuff?
Yeah, a bunch of other shit.
Okay.
You
got a vocal, an audio Where's Waldo going on for everyone listeing.
Okay.
You want to play along and listen for the word weeds.
That's the word of the day.
Word of the Is that Pee-wee's Playhouse? Cool. Well, hey, let's just dive into this first episode of Weeds. It's actually called something. It's called You Can't Miss the Bear.
Can't miss the bear.
Can't miss the bear, everybody.
Don't do it.
Because bears are friggin' huge.
That would be a a travesty.
The day you
if
miss the
didn't
bear
see
is
it.
the day you get mauled by the bear. So don't miss the bear.
Huh.
All right. Well, we'll see you after the first episode of Weeds. And we're back. We're done with the pilot episode of what should
Breaking
we just
Bad.
watch? I'm so high I can't remember. Just because we watch Weeds.
Do you get it,
do you get it?
listeners?
You didn't? We're high. The show. We got a contact high from watching TV. Drugs are bad. Don't do them
Stay
unless
in
you're an
school.
adult.
Adults.
Wait, you telling adults to stay in school?
Yeah. I'm in
Never
school.
leave school.
I'm in school. It's cool.
Stay where
it's
you
cool to be in
are.
school, right, Pete?
Yeah. I'm sure I probably picked that
I
up.
hope that got picked up.
He's a loud cat. So yeah, you got a write up for us, Jamie?
Yeah.
Pete wants a write up.
Let me just put down my. I was busy looking up Marie Louise Parker. God, maybe I am high.
I kind of always confuse her name and then Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who's
Oh,
another 3 named girl. You know.
You can't trust him.
I don't think I know that one.
She was in Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and various other things, but that's like my main of her.
Yeah.
She's cool. She's a good actress.
Mary Louise Parker is Bradley Whitford's like on and off again, like Will They Won't They in The West Wing. She's great.
Totally love The West Wing. Seen all of it. Not.
God damn.
I've seen all I need to see because the middle's crap and shows.
Okay. I already forgot the name of this episode.
Don't poke the bear or something like that.
You don't shoot. You don't miss the bear.
Don't look at that bear. And don't look bears in the
poke
eyes.
the bear. I wish it was called that. Okay. Something about bears. In the series opener, we meet Nancy Botwin, a recently widowed suburban soccer mom who's dealing pot to make ends meet. Nancy flips out when she discovers Josh, one of her competitors, is dealing to 10-year-olds at her youngest son's school, but she soon discovers a bigger skeleton in Josh's closet. Nancy is stunned when Quinn, her rival Celia's 15-year-old daughter, asks her permission to have sex with her 15-year-old son, Silas. Celia thinks her nanny cam is the perfect solution to keep the kid celibate, but she ends up seeing much more than she bargained for.
That was stone cold of her daughter.
To do what?
So
Just
Quinn,
flip off the
Celia's
nanny cam.
daughter. So right away, let's not talk about any of the main characters. Let's
Nope.
just talk about this scenario. Celia is, in my opinion, if Lucille Bluth from Arrested Development was a very poorly written, shitty character.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what she reminds me of.
By the way, did you recognize her? Elizabeth Perkins. She's opposite Tom Hanks in Big.
Ah.
When he's big, obviously. Not when he's a child, because that'd be weird.
Yeah, you know,
Which is where that movie goes at the end.
Still a child inside.
it does get weird.
You
But,
can see she's thinking about it.
But she, so Celia is Quinn's mom, and Quinn is the 15-year-old girl that's dating one of Nancy's kids. But she puts the nanny cam somewhere where she knows her dad, who's banging like a tennis instructor, is gonna find out, and then she like films it, and then goes to the camera and like flicks it off and says like "I hate you" to her mom. And then it's like, man, you're 15 and you got that relationship already with your mom. Like that is stone cold. Like Quinn gonna murder someone for an eighth one day. Like,
Very
dang,
possible.
it's crazy. So we can talk about real people now,
Because that's a fun side.
because
story.
quick offside. Quinn's probably not in the last episode of this show.
I
the
kinda
whole
didn't
entire
think
family is
about
probably
that.
not in it.
Yeah, I was kind of getting the vibe like this show definitely has like a single mom whose husband's definitely recently died.
Yeah.
Is kind of, I mean, it didn't even seem like she's trying to make ends meet. It just was like, oh, she sells weed to people. Like it didn't seem like she was doing it out
Yeah.
of desperation, really. But
Did we get kind of like what she supposedly does?
like, what's her real job?
Like, yeah.
no, because
Was
she was
Doug
like,
trying to like buy some other thing? Like he was clearly just buying drugs from her, but Kevin Nealon, but he was like had like a magazine of hers. It was like, I'm
I'm
looking for this.
I think she was reading that magazine while sitting there, and then she just handed it to him because she put the weed in it.
Oh, okay.
Is I think what happened. And then, yeah, but it's very like her hard part is like she's just trying to juggle being a single parent, but she also sells weed, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like the weed part of her selling is like not the hard part of her life at all.
Part.
It's pretty easy. The only part that's like hard is she's trying to get that Josh kid to not sell weed to kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, when you're selling drugs, you got to at least have a spot where you stop.
Yeah. And it seems like she's like just selling to that kid. Like she's not selling with like the intent of like, you're going to go and like push this for me. She's just selling to some kid and then found out that he was selling to other kids.
I think she knew he sold, but she was like, don't sell it to kids.
Little kids.
Yeah. Kids your own age.
Guy. And that kid, the kid selling is Kevin Nealon's son.
So sometimes I don't even know if picked up, but Pete the cat just ran out of the room we're recording in, and he sprints around the apartment after he poops. So
yeah. So he
probably
probably
gonna be
just
smelling.
pooped.
So we don't got a lot
soon.
of time right now, guys. We gotta get going. This room,
oh my god.
this room might smell soon.
So when was this? When was this show?
2005.
Was this after Chum Scrubber then?
I don't know.
Because they definitely made that kid look younger in this than he looked in Chum Scrubber. He looked like maybe he was like a super senior or something in that movie, and this like he looked like he was like supposed to be a high schooler.
Maybe for
with
those
his like Beats by Dre.
I'm assuming Joe's never seen Chum Scrubber.
No idea what you're talking
So
about.
really,
so good.
it's
an indie film.
Definitely an indie film that probably most people haven't seen, but it's a high school angst.
Glenn Close,
like interesting.
Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah, it's got some star studs in it.
Cool.
And it's real good. But so
He's
yeah,
also in Shameless. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Is that a TV show?
Yes.
Okay.
With
Still Showtime?
With who's that guy? He's awesome. He's in. It's not coming to me. He's in Jurassic Park 3. William H. Macy.
I was gonna say Chris Pratt.
He's like a main guy in that. And
William H. Macy is a bad man who sells or buys his kids into college, or he allows his wife to do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
What a reason he wasn't implicated.
Yeah, but his wife sure was. He's like, I don't know anything about
I don't know what she does.
I don't even love my kids.
Like it should be.
So yeah, I mean, because it's the show's like doing a dichotomy of like, oh, she's a single mom trying to juggle she can't really juggle her two kids because her little kid is just a total dweeb who's like getting picked on,
Yeah, he's a little out there. Shane.
And he gets picked on and whatnot, so she's dealing with that, and then her other son is just trying to bang his girlfriend.
Just trying to bone.
And she's like, I can't keep track of this. And she like knows she like basically can't handle it.
I don't know. Those both seem like very like normal kid stuff.
Yeah.
And like not even really a problem.
But but Joe, is it a normal kid, not problem thing when there's two parents?
Yeah, maybe. But I feel like those are both things that you're not necessarily going to be able to prevent as a parent. Like your kid's going to go have sex. Your other kid is like going to get picked on and kind of figure it out on his own. Like
he did figure it out on his own too.
Yeah.
Like
true.
I don't know. Those are just kind of normal things, it seems like.
Took
down that bully.
Most of those were non-issues.
Like at the end, she kind of had her breakdown about like, I don't have control over my life. But it's just sort of like, well, your one kid had sex, and like to this point we don't know that the girl's pregnant, so like maybe everything's okay.
Right.
And then
Sure.
the other kid, is sticking up for himself. Maybe that, goes too far or whatever, but at least like, those are very minimal problems. Like neither of your kids are in jail or like
smoking weed.
Yeah, or smoking weed.
Or selling it.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, they could have maybe even. They kept mentioning it. They kept being like, "Oh, like yeah, you're a widow. Your kid doesn't have a dad." Blah blah blah. They kept like saying it, but for some reason, I think maybe they tried to make that feel a little bit more pressing,
Yeah.
and that's why she broke down a little bit.
Yeah.
But I even think they could have like made me like go, oh man, maybe we could have like had like a little funeral scene real quick, like
Yeah.
2 minutes, like
Or maybe-
this just happened.
Or like maybe the
Sure.
point is not that like her kids are terrible or anything. It's just that like maybe the point is that this is kind of normal kid stuff that she's dealing with, but she's alone.
That's what I think too. I don't
Mhm.
think you don't think they're like, oh, their kids are crazy,
Mm-hmm.
because her kids are very not crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Her kids are just completely normal kids.
they even like kind of seem to have like to be very smart and like have level heads, because like the kid's girlfriend like went to the mom and was just like, hey, like, is it cool if we have sex in your house? Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had.
Yeah, I
like, it
liked
seems
Quinn.
yeah, it seems like they have like a decent enough relationship where she could just kind
I'm
of be
sad
upfront.
that she's dead or gone
Dear
by the finale.
Dear God.
And she was like, because she was like, my dad's having sex with a tennis instructor. Like that's a bummer. And then the lady's like, Nancy's like, you know about that? And she's like, well, now I do. You just confirmed it.
Well, Nancy didn't even technically know about it. I mean, she heard about it too. So
She
she's
heard about
like,
it from
Yeah.
Doug.
I mean,
Kevin
Quinn's the
Nealon,
one that
right?
got the confirmation by
Yeah.
videotaping her dad have sex,
Yeah.
which means
No,
she-
that wasn't Quinn. That was
No.
the mom, I think, with the nanny cam.
no, because Quinn took the bear. Quinn put the bear where she knew. Quinn did that.
No, I thought
The mom
because
gave Quinn the bear.
But that footage was after.
Yeah, because she put it down, filmed her dad banging
Yeah.
somebody that
Quinn
wasn't her
knew
wife.
that there's a camera in the bear.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
and then she
That's
went to
when
the
we
bear.
saw that footage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then she went to the bear and like waved at it because she set the whole thing up.
Mm.
Quinn did.
I didn't get that. I thought maybe like her mom was just watching earlier footage,
Oh,
and then it was like gonna come up
you thought that was just a complete random happenstance?
because earlier Quinn was talking about the nanny cam thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
So I thought
so that's
because she knew that her mom was using that on her husband already.
she was. I think they were just doing that so we knew that Quinn knew that there was a camera in there, so that
Okay.
when she got the bear, she knew what to
didn't
do.
say specifically that my mom has nanny cams. She talked about her mom having cameras several
Yeah,
times.
she said that she had used the cam to like try to catch someone stealing snacks or something.
Oh, okay. Not her husband having sex with a
No.
tennis coach.
It-
Okay, great.
It's not real if you don't have to see it, you know. But then she was like, "Hey, mom."
Yeah, that was the whole thing of like, oh, I'm starting to smell the poop now.
Oh boy.
You are the closest to the
Wait, the whole thing about like this will stop them from having sex if I have this teddy bear with a camera in it that they don't know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Like what the hell was the thought there?
Yeah, not a whole
one
lot
of those
thought.
weird-
You just want to watch then. That you're not trying to stop anything, you perv.
It's one of those weird parent things where they're like, "Oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to find out that they're doing it." And it's like, well, if once you find out they're doing that, you haven't stopped them from doing it.
Yeah.
That's
You can
been
now
done.
just go, "I know you did it," and you're like, "Cool," but I already got banged. I don't know what you want.
been banged.
Hey, mom, Ben banged.
.com.
Oh God.
Oh, don't go to
That's
that.
probably
That's for sure.
That's probably a real website.
That's for sure.
Ben banged. Wow. So yeah, I don't know. So Nancy's life is whatever, and I guess it's just trying to prove. I think the whole point of that thing was just like, yeah, she's overwhelmed because it's only her.
Yeah.
That's what I got. I think
Mhm.
me and you got the same thing, Joe.
It's the show is a lot more like Malcolm in the Middle and less like Breaking Bad than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah,
Sure.
but I can definitely see as it goes forth
Mm-hmm.
that, especially maybe after the first season,
Mm-hmm.
that it drops a lot of family stuff, more family stuff, and
Okay.
gets more druggy a little bit,
Okay.
but still
More
has.
Breaking Bad. I like the idea of just at a point in the podcast we describe what Bryan Cranston's show, the current show we're watching, is like.
Yeah,
Is
this is
that a segment we
yeah,
can start?
on our on our scale. It's definitely more
Wow.
Malcolm in the Middle than Breaking Bad.
Wow, I didn't realize that he was in both of those.
Yeah,
Does Malcolm in the Middle have a weird racist black family that they do all their crimes with? Because
Oh,
this one sure did.
yeah.
they have a black family who has a wheelchair bound child.
Oh, and Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I know about him.
Yeah. So, but I don't think they.
What's his name? Guster?
Yeah, probably.
Gavin?
I really honestly can't remember his name.
Gavin.
It's really not important. What else?
Nancy, like her hookup is like this like black family that it seems like they all like deal and manage together, but they're also like very like stereotypically like quote unquote hood or whatever, just like the way that they talk.
She's like on the edge of town.
Yeah.
Not in the burb
Was that like
anymore.
the first scene in the show?
It was like the second scene.
Maybe.
The first scene was like a PTA meeting or something.
Oh, yeah.
And then cut over to her.
And then she was talking. Well, this is kind of funny because she's got like a really good repertoire. So it was the opposite of what I thought of. She was going to be hanging out with like a black person getting drugs and be like scared because I just assumed they were going to go really racist with it.
This is her normal.
But she's like cool with that family.
With the guy from 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh yeah. But then right at the end they were like, "Who wants cornbread?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's that?"
Just like a cartoon black family. hopefully they give those characters some dimension.
It wasn't crazy though, because every one of them was played by Eddie Murphy. Did you notice that?
Oh my god.
Oh man, yeah.
Wow.
That'd be great.
She gets her drugs from the Doolittles.
Would have been better. Or like a Medea type. What's his name?
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry.
I've never seen any Tyler Perry things ever.
Apparently they're great.
Yeah. I mean, he keeps making them, so someone keeps watching them, right? It's got to be good. I don't really have that. I don't have that much more about this episode. I mean, Shane's a dweeb. Silas wants to bang. Celia is a bad Lucille Bluth. Quinn's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it was just more family drama stuff than I expected. There's a whole like little amount of drug stuff.
I almost think the Kevin Nealon and his son thing is like their whole thing is more fucked up than her whole family's situation.
Well, because do we know how old his Doug's son Josh is?
I thought he was high school.
I figured he was a high schooler.
Yeah.
And then the guy, when she broke in that guy's house, because Josh was like hooking up with some older dude
in
the neighborhood, and she like walked into the house and just like walked in to like get him because she was trying to get Josh to stop selling to little kids.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Don't sell to little kids now, because now I know that you're doing this." And the guy in the house was like, "He told me he was 23." And that was like, the minute you like walk in and you say that, you're like, I think you know he wasn't 23.
Yeah, you for sure are guilty of something.
I've seen enough Chris Hansen. You predator. Chris Hansen's the catcher predator guy.
Gotcha. So this kid, so Kevin Nealon's like an old burnout whose kid is selling pot to 10-year-olds and having sex with possibly older married dudes just in the neighborhood. I feel like there's more going on there than there is in all of her family stuff.
Yeah, that is the most.
I think there'll be more with that.
It's definitely the most risque subplot going on right now. Than stone-hearted Quinn, my favorite character in this show.
Yeah, she's dead or gone.
That's too bad. Should we get into those?
Sure.
Things?
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
I got some.
All right.
Number 1, I think Silas. So this is 7-8 years later?
8 seasons. It's 7 years later in real time. But.
Sure. Okay. I think Silas is all grown up. He's in on the family biz.
Okay.
He's slinging.
That was the oldest kid?
That's the oldest one, I think. If that's what I'm talking about. Number 2, the Botwins, the family Botwin, have moved and basically I just think away from other characters. I think they're in like some other burb or something somewhere, and it's basically just a development of we're just changing the scenery.
Do we know where they were? Were they just like in LA or something like that, or was it just like basic bitch like America where every house looks the same? And because they did that, the intro is like
home.
Well, the intro is just like all the houses look the same. Like there's people running and they're all in the same
literally
shirt.
the same
I'm
white
not sure
dude
where, but
walking.
it did look like vaguely southwest.
Yeah. So, I didn't know whether or not it was supposed to
I
be
don't know
just
if
like
they
an
said.
indescript town, like everywhere America.
They did have the name of the school.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But she said it later like it was the name of the town, I feel like. But I started with an A.
Meh, not whatever. I was just curious based on what you said.
Aegis.
So, what you got? What you got next, Jim?
Oh, Nancy goes to jail, I think, in this final episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of how it ends.
I have that too, by the way.
I
Nice.
also have that.
Nice. Nice.
Just because we haven't seen one of these where
It's a classic
the person goes to
Seinfeld
jail.
ending.
So I feel like this
Yeah.
is the one.
I feel like they're not going to ambiguously kill her like Walter White. So she's just going to go to jail.
Ugh,
Yeah.
that was heartbreaking. Please don't bring that up again. Number 4, I think Shane, who's the younger son, I think he's kind of like the good guy, like good cop. I think he doesn't partake. He's like, this is wrong, doesn't condone what the family business is.
Okay.
And that's his shtick.
Oh, good for him.
Taking the high ground or something.
Is that it?
That's it.
So yeah, I had that Nancy goes to jail. I have that Nancy's remarried because I think she finds love. I have that like Nancy runs like a whole like drug operation and she's got like a bunch of dealers under her. Like she's like pretty much the like kingpin of whatever her town is now. She's running it. And then I have that Nancy launders her money through a salon.
Mm.
Ooh,
At first I wrote down
Did you write down car wash?
no, I wrote down launders her money through piano lessons, but I thought that like
She's
that's-
real good at piano and charges a lot
Yeah.
of
that's a
money.
lot of cash to be.
I feel like that's a good way to get audited. So maybe just a salon.
Okay. Well, Joe, I think Nancy has a huge pot empire.
Okay.
So basically what you said.
Ooh.
And then another one that you said, I think Nancy goes to jail.
Yep.
And now these are my original ones that I have. I think someone eats a pot brownie in this episode.
Yum.
And then the other thing is I think they have their callback from the first episode. I think someone says, don't miss the bear.
You can't miss the bear.
You can't miss the bear. So
Right.
someone says something about missing the bear. Yeah.
I missed the bear.
Yeah. So I think that happens.
They're in the fictional town of Agrestic, California.
Okay.
Cool.
Sweet. Cool. Well, I think we're ready to watch this finale, aren't we?
I was born ready.
Jimmy was born, which is cool. Good for him.
Thank you.
Congrats.
We're gonna watch the final episode called "It's Time."
Yeah.
We'll see you after that.
Where Quinn is dead or gone.
And we're back.
No.
Yeah. What do you think? We're just hanging out, Jimmy? Doing nothing?
I wasn't ready.
Well, we podcasting, buddy.
We're doing
It's
a
pod
podcast?
time.
It's pod time.
Okay.
We finished the finale of the Weeds show called It's Time.
Is that what you said? It's time.
It's called It's Time.
Cool.
Okay.
It's pod time.
It's time for Weeds time.
It's pot time.
It's time to smoke weed.
There's no weed in this episode.
Not
Is
really.
that
I mean,
true?
she sold her weed business in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hey.
then the last 5 minutes was main characters just passing a joint.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
about
there was a lot of
But other
weed
than
taken.
that,
You got to write it for us?
no.
Oh, okay.
that. Working on it.
The one on IMDb said the like end of the finale. What's gonna happen? That's all it said. Maybe if I look at part 1, with that,
What's gonna happen?
how will it all end?
It does really.
That's
say,
what it says.
It does really say that.
Yeah.
And
So
that's all it says in
literally
the first
no.
time. Well, we can just walk through it really quick because it's pretty easy. So it's like 7 years in the future.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name?
I didn't even notice that.
Yep.
Nancy?
Yeah, Nancy's Nancy's weed business is very, very popular and also now legal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she has like cafes and shit.
We're in the future.
Yeah, she's like weed coffee shops.
But are they in like Washington or something?
California. Well, I don't know where
Are
they
they
are
back
now.
in California?
No, I don't know.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I don't know because the beginning had like the map and it kind of showed like where the show went, but it's not like it just. I just went. Oh, they moved a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of like Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Weeds. So there was that. Kevin Nealon's character was like a cult leader,
Yeah.
and he kept
That's where the real money is.
and he kept having his people kidnap his son Josh to try to like make amends with him.
Yeah.
And eventually, I guess they kind of did make up. So it was a good ending for those two, I guess.
Yeah. Still just like big comic relief.
Yeah, just smoking weed the whole time and chilling out.
Yeah.
She had a third son named Stevie now, who was having a bar mitzvah, but then he kind of was like, he went up and was like, yo, I'm not Jewish, and my dad was a Mexican gangster, and I want to go to boarding school.
Yeah, I don't know what the boarding school thing's about.
That's really funny,
idea.
though, because, during it, I was like, that is the first kid in the history of world and TV that said, I want to go to boarding school.
Maybe
Like-
it's space camp.
Like Malcolm in the Middle, Francis was shipped off to Army boarding school or whatever.
They moved everywhere.
Yeah.
So they were in Connecticut for this last season.
Weed was legal in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
7 years from now.
And then her oldest son, Shane, right? He was married.
No, Silas.
Silas, the oldest son, was married to, I think, the deaf girl down the street.
It's possible.
Because her name was Megan, and they had a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that happened.
Plausible.
So he seemed like he was like pretty normal. And then the youngest one from the pilot, Silas.
Shane.
God damn it. You know what? Their names aren't important.
Let's start it over.
No, because I'm gonna get it wrong again. So Shane was like, and I think I read because he was like an alcoholic, is what he was.
Yeah.
And he was also a cop. He was actually a cop.
Okay.
Sounds.
So when he pulled out
Sounds
that
plausible.
badge and a gun, when he shot the cake at the bakery, because he just shot
for
a
the
cake.
bar mitzvah.
Yeah, that was like, I was like wondering if I was watching a dream sequence, but they went to go pick up a cake for the bar mitzvah, and he got pissed because there wasn't writing on it and like shot the cake.
Well, and he got probably pissed because there wasn't writing on it because he said letters are free, and the lady said like $1.50 per letter, which that's way too much.
Oh yeah.
Also, she knew how many letters were in like yo let's go bar mitzvah like way too fast. Yeah, so he's kind of messed up. So then at the end, she had like a heart to heart to him, like you need to like get your shit together. She's trying to get him to like move in with her, and then he said he'd go to rehab essentially.
Yeah, he said he would clean up and go to rehab.
Yeah, and then her dead husband's brother Andy was around, and then she was trying to like get him to like move in with her,
Yeah.
and then he was like no. So they had like a heart to heart at the end.
That guy's got a weird face. He gives me the creeps. I don't know what it is about him.
He could have been a serial killer.
Yeah.
Wait,
for
wait,
sure.
wait, who?
Andy, the guy that
Oh, yeah.
and he had like a heart to heart with her, and
Justin Kirk. He's been in stuff.
and then he was like, no, you're gonna be good. He's like, don't think of it as like, because I think the whole thing was she's been she's like obviously was overwhelmed in the first episode. I'm sure she was just overwhelmed the entire time. And then he was like, you're free now, like you get to do whatever you want, like we're not all leaving you. You just get to just do whatever you want and don't have to like ask anybody permission or have to do things for people.
Yeah, she's still trying to like help and fix people.
So that's why she thinks she kind of moved on and then sold her weed business right at the end.
Because even her kid's going to boarding school, so she's in need to worry
She's
about him.
totally like free, which is a good way to look at it, I suppose. So I kind of like that. There wasn't like a big transition. It was like the end of the show was like her just like letting go, kind of. Just like, okay, I'm done. And then the ending shot was her sitting on the porch and the main characters, her two older sons, Andy, her dead husband's brother, and Kevin Nealon, our Doug, the cult leader, they all just sat down one at a time and smoked a joint while it snowed.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest,
Facing the camera.
I liked that a lot. I thought that was great. I thought that right there, it was just like the end. It was the very last shot of the show. It was really long, you know. It was like a
Yeah, it was like
some-
that entire.
it was
song.
like a
some
minute.
fan
Yeah, it was a
service.
couple minutes.
It was a Rilo Kiley song.
And I would rather have that where it's just like, hey, these are the people that were in the show. They're doing a thing because they were all smoking weed. And I was like, they're doing the thing that the show's about.
Yeah.
And this is the last time they're on. They're all together. And this is just it. And this is like a little montage.
And Nancy like passes, like not, she doesn't smoke it and pass it. She like passes on smoking it at first, and then it goes around, and then she like finally like smokes it. So I don't know if that was like a thing that
Maybe
she
we've never seen her
wasn't
smoke weed
partaking. Maybe.
in this entire show ever.
She doesn't partake
Maybe
in her
she-
product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
Interesting.
use your own product.
Yeah.
But I will say I will take that shot because I liked it, and I'll take that shot or just something like that in every show at the end than any clip ever. Like that was
Sure.
great.
Yeah. What if it's like the end of the Big Bang Theory and they just like go out on the porch and smoke together?
Oh my god, I will love the Big Bang Theory then. I will
Yeah,
love it.
when we finally watched that show, my finale prediction is going to be 23 minutes of clips.
Oh man.
I don't think
be clip heavy.
I don't think they'll
Because
do
Chuck Lorre, is that his name?
The
The
big-
bastard,
that. Oh god.
which is made of money now.
I don't think he'll do that. I think the Big Bang Theory will be. I'm gonna go on the limb. My first prediction for Big Bang Theory finale is no clips.
No clips.
Wow.
But
No
so
clips.
all in all, I liked it. I think the way they did the finale, at least, I think probably paid off pretty well for people that watch this show.
Yeah.
I think it was probably fulfilling. It seemed fulfilling from me as an outsider.
So what was the kid's name that's getting bar mitzvahed?
Stevie.
Is that Stevie?
Yeah.
So basically, this whole episode, this whole kind of two-parter was basically him finding out that his dad was actually a like Mexican drug lord, kingpin / mayor of somewhere.
Yeah.
And like, so he's just kind of coming to terms with who he is, and he's not Jewish. And then he like just basically throws the bar mitzvah.
Well, I mean, his mom's Mary Elizabeth Winstead, right? Was she Jewish?
Apparently, she converted
Okay.
for the husband that died. Then
I'm just probably because his brother was Jewish. I was just wondering because if she's
Yeah.
Jewish, then Stevie's Jewish. That's how it works.
Isn't that if you're ethnically Jewish though?
Maybe him.
I don't know if it counts if you converted.
But yeah, I don't think she was any kind of Jewish.
Right. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I would say I don't think she. Yeah, I don't
Well,
think she
someone
was.
said that she. Well, the Stevie set was talking about like, well, my like uncle's Jewish and like my mom converted, but she's a Methodist and once a Methodist was the line verbatim.
Big laugh line.
Watch out for the
Big
bear.
laugh.
Once a Methodist, watch out for bears.
I think that was the line.
That's
Yeah.
the line. I don't know. What did you guys think about? I've definitely spewed now about it. I don't feel like Joe's is happy with this.
I don't know. I just kind of I passed out and then I came back and yeah, just washed over me.
Just no. I mean, not good feelings. It doesn't sound like.
Well, just like there's a lot going on and I just didn't know like who anything was or what was really going on. Or I could kind of gather like, okay, this like father and son are trying to work things out, but I don't even know what they're trying to work out. And then like
Right.
the stuff with Shane, like it's just like, oh, this guy's just kind of weird, but it's like, oh, he has like a problem and like needs to go to rehab. Okay,
I mean, he
Yeah.
shot a cake in a bakery. He obviously has a
he
problem.
did. That was weird, and like no one really reacted to it. Like it was a live firearm.
That was the.
Right.
And she
right.
just grabbed the gun and was like holding it, like.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You gotta put that gun to the ground. What are you doing?"
Well, like my first thought was like, well, like no one's eating that cake. Like you're not gonna try to like pull
You
bullets out of the
ruined
cake.
that cake.
I'd be fine with that.
And the cake definitely didn't stop the bullets from 2 feet away from going through the counter.
It just went through the cashier's foot.
And the Russian cashier lady did not care at all that was happening.
You're lucky I'm Russian.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is don't just watch the first and last episode of this TV show. 'Cause I didn't even see any weed stuff.
Mad
That's true.
about the lack of drugs.
Yeah. The thing I like about Breaking Bad and Ozark is you get deep in the business, and in Breaking Bad you get deep into the cook. And then in Ozark it's all about the money laundering and how that works out. And this I was probably most interested in how she structures her weed growing and manufacturing and selling, but none of that in the first or last episode.
Right.
I mean, I assume that she starts to do all that on her own throughout the series. I mean, the first episode she was just buying from someone else, but I assume she's got her own distributor and her own crops and stuff.
Hope so. She
Otherwise,
goes to
what
jail
show is
at
this?
some point. Right.
Yeah.
She goes to jail at some point, so I think she must have been pretty deep in. She got caught.
But yeah. Again, this last episode was more Malcolm in the Middle than Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I was pretty sidelined by the fact that the kids who are still around are just not good actors at all.
It didn't quite pan out.
Yeah.
They just rolled the dice on these young actors and didn't quite make it.
Right. We were talking about of the GOT you get these kid actors, and how do you have any idea?
I don't know.
what they're gonna grow up to be?
Shane's got a pretty solid mustache though. Can Arya grow a mustache?
I bet she could.
Give her time.
Josh, what are you working on over there? You look
deep
in thought.
I'm just trying to figure out whether or not, if that was a big deal that she smoked weed at the end. It was just kind of a fun little thing. So I was trying to see if she smoked weed in Weeds.
Did you guys see Vice?
No.
Andy, the whatever he was, the brother, was in Vice. It's a good movie.
It's creepy. He's got a creepy smile.
Yeah. Most people in Vice are creepy.
She smokes a weed at least one time in season 3 with some guy named Conrad. So
Did you say she smokes a weed?
One weed, please.
Smokes a single
We'll
weed.
take one weed.
Hi. How much for one weed?
I mean, this show's called Weeds. It's specifically not about one weed. It's about all of the weeds.
Hi. How much?
Yeah, I just thought this was a gardening show.
How much for many weeds?
They did there was a, I don't know if it was the opening scene, but it was in one of the transition shots in the first episode. There was some weed whacking going on, and I was he's cutting out weeds.
Get
it? Weed whacking.
Every once a season, there's just a heavy gardening focused episode. I mean, I saw the term grow house, so it seems like she got a little bit bigger. You think? I guess we'll find out. I guess we have to decide what a huge pot empire looks like if you have now a chain of coffee shop weed houses.
No, she sold them.
Well, she's
got nothing.
She had them.
Zero pots. She has 0 weeds.
I don't know. Joe, I think you're being a little down on this show.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Correct.
Maybe it's a fine show, but from the first and last, you don't really get much out of it.
You don't, but I get the feeling that it's fulfilling, at least for people that watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think part of it for me is that there's parts of it that's clearly comic relief, and that I feel like you can get by just watching the first and last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And those jokes just didn't stick with me, so I can't imagine watching this and thinking it's funny.
I mean, Kevin Nealon, it's all just it's Kevin Nealon smoking weed and it's funny.
Kevin
jokes.
Nealon doing weird things.
Yeah. I don't think the show's strength is in its comedy. I think it's a dramedy. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh.
Get it?
Sure.
No, I don't think so.
Whatever. Well, got anything else to say about this?
Hmm.
What were your thoughts, Jimmy?
Hmm.
Got a whole lot, huh? Everyone's so talkative today.
You know, I just I like Nancy. I do like her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's just not as much stakes as you'd like.
Love me some mistakes.
Yeah.
Basically, what you're saying is just Breaking Bad's ruined this for
Who
you
is it
both.
versus?
Oh, she went
Who
to
are we
jail,
doing
right?
it versus?
So
Yeah,
maybe
that's true.
somewhere in that middle there, there's some meat of a show that I would like.
Yeah. And she clearly has some shit happen because now she has this other child with a drug kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
I think he
And
was
she said her husband was dead. So is that a second husband? Another dead husband?
I think
Or she's still talking about the first guy.
I think she's going through all kinds of. Oh, the Tijuana husband, Stevie's dad's dead for sure.
He's also dead.
Yeah.
So she's just this is just a show about Nancy marrying dudes and them dying.
I mean, if you put a baby in Nancy, you gonna die.
Eventually.
Sure.
Nancy curse.
We all die someday.
But those men sooner than others.
Huh.
Sooner than
Okay.
others. Should we go through our predictions?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do mine. She has a huge pot empire. What are our thoughts on that?
I don't think that in the way that we thought, at least. Not in the first.
She's not like
in this
a
last
Mexican
episode.
drug kingpin.
Yeah.
Would you
Who's-
consider McDonald's a huge fast food empire?
Yes.
Well, she was the
Hey.
McDonald's of weed.
You saying we should go there?
That's like saying that she's got things all over the world in every city.
I know. I won't take one. Fine. Whatever.
0.5.
Someone eats a pop brownie. No.
No.
Nancy goes to jail. Well, she wasn't. She went to jail, but
She
that's
did,
not,
yeah, but-
not what we meant.
Mhm.
And don't miss the bear is said by a character, and it is not.
Mm-hmm.
So I did great. Big old 0.
Yeah, I think like mine are all wrong, but I think if this show ended in like season 4 or something, maybe I would have been right because it's Nancy's remarried, Nancy goes to jail, Nancy runs a whole operation, and she launders her money through a salon. Like that's just a very different show than what we saw. But maybe that was the show in like the end of season 4.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I could see how this show has a big bell curve to it.
Because based on those like opening credits, it seems like a lot of that stuff kind of maybe happened.
I mean, a definite lot of stuff happened on that roadmap, and there was a jail. So.
Yeah.
Okay, I had Silas is in on the family business. Couldn't really tell what he was doing or not doing. He's a dad. Just hanging around. Botwins have moved. Oh,
Yeah. There you go.
they did do that.
I like
Okay.
that you forgot that you got a point there.
I
That
totally
surprised
did.
you as you read
I
that.
totally did. Wasn't feeling good. Okay, Nancy goes to jail. Same thing. Not this time. Shane. Oh, I thought Shane was like the good guy. Definitely not.
Shane was the most messed up
He
of
was
all of
like
them.
the
I think.
bad guy. Not the
Shane
yeah.
was the one with the creepy
had the
mustache
most
that shot a
problems.
kick.
Yeah, that makes him a bad guy.
Yeah. So he was a cop. He did not pull that off.
Being
We can make little Shane a cop.
He didn't pull that off. He's got a mustache.
he was
He's
a
trigger
cop?
happy.
that's most cops.
And he's a drunk. Yeah, you're right. He's a total cop.
Yeah,
Especially East Coast.
he's the most cop out of anyone in that
Connecticut.
show.
All right, you got me. Should have saw it coming. So one.
He was a little kid that got bullied his entire life, and what did he do? He decided to grow up to be the guy with a gun
Oh,
that tells the
man.
other people to do whatever. That's
all
a cop.
all the kids who were bullied in school were like the junior cops.
Yeah.
Remember that program?
I don't remember.
Do you have junior cops back
Isn't it- you
back
didn't
where
have
you're
junior
from?
cops? Ugh. They were basically just hall monitors with like uniforms.
Then they would be in your schools,
Yeah.
and they would be other students.
They were like narcs with signs.
They had uniforms.
Yeah.
They had like mini cop uniforms.
This seems like a real bad idea. This
yeah,
seems
it was
like
terrible.
This seems like a weird psychological experiment you would play on kids. Like if we give one kid a uniform, will he become an asshole to the other kids? It's like, yeah.
What
yeah.
is
like that jail experiment?
Yeah,
The
it's just a kid.
Stanford,
It sounds like-
Stanford prison experiment.
Isn't there there's probably lots of documentaries on that.
Yeah, that does seem like something I've always wanted to look into.
Running an experiment.
What those kids did in jail.
How like half of them sort of like beaten up on the other half.
Well, I mean, you're either going to be on top or you're going to be on bottom. Which one?
Power bottom.
Power bottom coming in from the bottom
Generate all the power
with
from
the
the bottom.
power. You got that, Joe? You all over that?
Yep.
Yeah, I knew you were. I knew you were. Well, I liked it. I thought it was great. I might watch a little bit more. Joe's gonna forget the show exists when we leave, and Jimmy is right in the middle,
just in and out of my body,
getting it from both ends.
Yeah, taking it both ways.
Spaghetti Jim over here.
Yeah.
But, well, hey guys.
Maybe if I had more feelings about Rilo Kiley or something. I don't listen to them enough.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
Were my thoughts on that last scene swayed a little
totally
bit
based on
because I loved that. I love that
100%.
song, and I love Rilo Kiley.
That was a good song.
The episode was boring up until then. Until the last scene.
I just thought that was a really good way to end a show.
Yeah.
That doesn't end in like someone dying.
Yeah.
In that like kind of thing where it's just chill. It's just
If
a good
your
way
show
to
goes 8 seasons, like you best be having some fan service, you know?
I think that's what it was, and I think it was great.
Yeah.
If anybody else listening out there, out in the ether, wants to suggest a show to us, tell us what we missed or what was wrong about this show that we talked about, you can hit us up at FNL Podcast on the Gmail, on the Twitter. We got a Facebook, and we have a YouTubes.
That's right.
That's right. We got those. So hit us up. Show suggestions. Remember, if you want to do a show suggestion, you got to give Joe a compliment first, or else he deletes your email.
It's just the spam filter that just filters things out.
If it, yeah, it's a spam.
Filter spam.
He said it's an if-then
But, like,
statement. Like
the
if nice
meat.
thing, then keep. If not, then delete. It's a pretty good
Or
algorithm.
Make me 1 pound of pasta. Is pasta sold in pounds?
The fans just send you pasta.
Just like cooked, like mushy pasta.
God. Don't send. Well, I mean, you can send Jimmy pasta. Just don't send it to my apartment where we record.
Sending it here.
Don't do
Just
that.
like a fettuccine alfredo, just like rotting on your stoop.
Oh dear God. I'd be like, I don't know who that's for. I have no idea. No, I don't live in that apartment. All right. Ugh, yuck. Well, thank you for listening. We will see you next week for another first and last. We got to talk about it, but summer camp is fast approaching.
Oh yeah.
Sometime.
Get in your registration forms.
Yep. Send in your waivers
Yeah, make sure your parents sign.
and let your parents sign. And leave your weed at home, kids.
I need a deposit.
Everyone send us $100.
Or else we cut the pod off.
No. It's like, I'll risk it. All right, well, we'll see you next week. Until then, have a good one. Bye. Claire's not here, so I'm the only one that says goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Does Claire say bye?
Yes, she does. She's a nice person.
Oh.